There we go. Hey, Miles.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm
good. To be back?
I'm good. Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, I you know me, man. I hate starting off shows on a serious note. We like to laugh and have a good time and make sure that everyone's like, chipper and smiling. But this is important. So let's just get this out of the way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We, without Parole, friends, family, all of our community, we really owe it to ourselves and each other to respect differences of opinions. Like, respect doesn't equal agreement. We need to understand that there's always going to be differences. But pineapple on pizza, dude, it's a thing. We need to accept that.
Yeah.
We need to band together and just, we really have to understand that. That's super fucking important. And to lighten the mood, here's an adorable picture of a pancake I made that looks just like Tornado. I fucking hate myself sometimes. Let's start the show. This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and thank Miles, it's Friday, right here on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. And thank you, all of you. Oh wow, no one showed up. All 40 of you for getting here right on time today. Somebody let the other 100 know what we're doing. My name's Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR 2 Without Parole. And this gentleman over here, all the way from the other side of the pond, Miles Dyer from Miles Dyer Official. Oh yeah, pimp the Instagram.
Hello. Happy Friday, everybody. Friday. I love that I get to see the stuff you put on screen on delay because I'm actually watching the feed. So my delay reaction to the pancake. It was amazing, though. It was amazing. Also, a big shout out. It's Mental Health Awareness Week. So big shout out to everyone. Hope you're taking good care of yourself and each other. Good to be kind, but being kind to yourself is sometimes the hardest thing. It's really important. So it's good to speak about it. Yeah, just sending lots of love out there.
It sounds like I took the wrong week off then. I should have taken this week off. It's Mental Health Awareness Week. Right? I didn't know. I should have saved it. And then people are like, oh, obviously that's what he's doing. Instead, I was just like, I'm going to disappear for a week and not tell anyone what's up. Miles, you're tackling, obviously, like I feel like that's right up your alley. You've been tackling this topic over on your Miles Dyer YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, so for this week, the company I work for, I've recently got a job at a cybersecurity company called CyberSafe, which I love. It's a bunch of really young-minded people that want to make the world a better place, and I was like, feels like home for me. And for Mental Health Week, we all work remotely, and so there was an opportunity for us all to put together things to discuss mental health within the teams. And so on Tuesday, I actually put together a presentation where I covered sort of 7 areas of mental health with a list of hacks, life hacks that can hopefully help people out there. And it went down really well. And then partly because it went well, but partly because I'm also lazy, I thought I could give this presentation again on my live show. So actually on Wednesday, I go through the presentation and I talk about these areas. Also being mindful that, everyone has a different mind. Everyone has different experiences and we all need different solutions in our lives. But by talking about things and sharing them, you might take away something that's positive. So yeah, I would say to anyone out there, even if you're not having a bad day, the thing about mental health awareness, and you sort of, joke about you should have taken this week off instead, is, often when it comes to mental health, we always take action. And this isn't a dig at Brian. Brian and I have had many conversations about it. It's stuff I've had issue with as well. We often think about taking care of our mental health once it's too late, once we have those bad days. And actually mental health is kind of like physical health, whether it's going to the gym or eating well, it all plays into each other. We've got to take care of ourselves to ensure that we reduce the risk of having those really, really bad days. And so, yeah, I would just say head over to my YouTube channel. It's there in the playlist for Miles Dyer Live. And hopefully you take away something positive. And if you do and learn something new, let me know what that is. And if you have your own suggestions, be sure to put them in the comments because no one has a monopoly on good ideas, especially when it comes to mental health.
That's right. I feel like asking you to use the presentation a third time right now while we're here and do the ultra Cliff Notes version and just like blast through so we can all save time. No. Go make sure if you don't already subscribe to Miles over on his channel, Miles Dyer. It's fucking easy to find. You type in his name to YouTube, there it is. You're just like everywhere. Your name, like that's all you need. Miles Dyer.
Well, obviously, I'm not going to give the full presentation now, but what I'll do is I'll give one tip that is in that presentation.
Perfect.
Right?
This is what I need because I'm not going to watch it. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Because we're here.
Yeah, I've already got you right here. Why would I go watch a pre-recorded video?
Well, the first topic is about language, and it's because we often think language is how we communicate with other people, but language is primarily about how we talk with ourselves. It's our inner monologue. It's how we think. And so one exercise that I did an Instagram reel on is called use the word could, not should. And it's as simple as whenever you're thinking about a task that you need to do, we always say, I should do this, I should do that. Should is used again and again. And what it means is we create this like fake rule that we bully ourselves with. And it means that when we do tasks, we only did it because we had to. Whereas if you say, I could do it, you empower yourself. No, I had a choice. And even if you have a deadline for work or a project, you might think, well, I should do that. But if you change it to could, because ultimately when you have a deadline, you could say, screw this, I'm not going to do it. It's always a choice. And it means that when you do complete those deadlines and those projects, you did it because you could, and therefore you should take credit for it. And trust me, just that little mental game with yourself totally transformed my life, and hopefully will make you all feel much more kind and better about all the productive stuff you do in your life. Because, you know, you do this show 3 times a week, Brian. You do it because you could. You may sometimes feel like you should, but it's always a choice. And the fact that you choose to do it, we love you for it, and glad that you do.
My life hack is even easier than changing a word in your vocabulary, and that is just get a cat, because it's worked wonders over here.
Pets are very important. I don't have a pet, although I have my brother's dog Theo, who's adorable, who I get to spend time with from time to time. But yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's kick the festivities off by doing a little housekeeping. Make sure that if you don't already hang out with us over on Discord, click the link in the description below. That's where all the coolest cats hang out. Most of y'all are pretty cool. Some of them over there, I don't know, like debatable, I guess. They're all fair. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speak poorly of anybody, Hunter, but come on. And if you want to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/withoutparolegames, for just $3 or more every month, you can get your name on that list that scrolls endlessly throughout the course of this show, 3 times a week. But also you get access to voice chat over on Discord, and for $5 a month, the exclusive video content has begun with the monthly AMAs, but we're going to follow that up. We just recorded our very first episode, a return episode of Why We Love, and so I'm going to be working on that a little bit and getting that up as soon as I possibly can. I could do it today, but I'll probably do it next week. So I don't think that's how that's supposed to work, the whole could thing. I should do it today, but I could do it tomorrow instead. I think that's how I'm going to use this.
That's it.
Yeah. And we're also going to kick it off with a tip from Emily Baxter, hashtag the cartoony witch game kit with the $2 tips. Is cartoony games suck. The weekend is now official. Our resident cartoony game hater. I will say one thing in regards to that. We better all the ports we get on PSVR 2. They better look better than the Quest version. That's all I'm going to say, right? All the power of the PSVR 2 of the PlayStation 5. We better not be seeing just plain old crappy port, especially Miles, when it's something like Zero Caliber, when there's a full-fledged PC version that looks kind of beautiful, and then they're like, oh, we're just going to bring you the Quest 2 version. No, you're not. Not on PSVR 2, you're not. No, thank you.
Yeah. The speculation around, backwards compatibility and what versions we're going to get. I just hope that when things are finally shown to us of what to expect, it makes us think one thing, and that is, we have no reason to worry. They've knocked this out of the park. Yep. That's the hope. Let's hope they don't let us down.
Well, word on the street is there is absolutely no reason to worry about PSVR 2. Word on the street is that PlayStation is taking PSVR 2 extremely seriously, into a level that I don't think even we are prepared for, Miles. That, like we tend to hear a few things here and there behind the scenes, as we get closer to shit. Some things we can talk about, some things we can't. But it does sound like there's a whole shitload of stuff brewing that, like, I'm just waiting, man, because I feel like the wait for Christmas has been so long, but I'm going to feel like a kid on Christmas morning the second we see their first stage presentation. I think that's going to be fun too. Actually, you know what? Screw it, man. Let's go out of order. I love going out of order.
Let's do it. I know what you're going to.
Yep, perfect. I mean, we already started the conversation. PPO Kojima over on the Discord said, by the way, guys, there's a whole viewer takeover section on the Discord. And so if you want to ever get your questions on the show, you can always come in here and tip, or you can just, maybe we'll just happen to pull your question out of the chat. Maybe, but it's way more guaranteed to get your question on the show if you leave your question in the viewer takeover channel over on Discord. Again, click the link in the description, join the Discord, where PPO Kojima wrote, #viewer takeover, with the Summer Games Fest being the last gaming event besides Sony, besides Sony-specific ones. Do you expect any info on PSVR 2 there? What do you think, Miles? Is there any chance that we could see PSVR 2 at the Summer Games Fest? This is the Jeff Keighley thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to give a short answer and a slightly longer answer. The short answer is no. The slightly longer answer is my bets are all on the Sony's PlayStation Showcase around September time. I think that's when it's going to be.
Do you think that's going to be the first one? September?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I think I just feel that they're going to hold off.
And then that way, when they show off PSVR 2, because I'm going to play devil's advocate and pretend like I'm on your side, which I'm definitely not. If that's the case, it makes so much sense, right? They say, hey, here's everything you need to know about PSVR 2. Here's the release date. Here's the price. Here's a fucking butt ton of games that you can't wait to play because they look better than anything you've ever seen. And by the way, boom, open for pre-orders right now. Q1 2023. It doesn't seem that long, right? If they start talking about PSVR in September, but they start talking about it now, suddenly you're like, really? It's gonna be 10 fucking months? Wait, we don't have that much time to wait. We could be dead by then. I don't know.
When did the pre-orders go out for the PS5? Because it was done at the showcase. That was in September, and then it was November. They got dispatched. Yeah, was it 2 months apart?
Still waiting for pre-orders to go live on PS5.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I just feel that the way I see it is the showcase is going to have incredible games for the flat screen, and then it's at the end, here's a new piece of hardware, in which they'll go. And these games, or the last X number of games, or they show a few more titles and go, these are hybrid games. That, I mean, in an ideal world, they would just show loads of amazing games, and like Xbox says, and all of these are available on Game Pass. PlayStation goes, and all of these are going to be available on PSVR 2. That would be the dream.
That's my dream.
Yeah.
I've been saying that exact line for 5-6 years now. Oh, if only, man, if only. So I mean, I don't want to put this down in stone. I don't want to just start saying shit. But because I heard all sorts of different things. I heard that we were going to see something immediately after the Oculus event. We were going to see something a couple weeks after the Oculus event, and now all signs are pointing to like mid-June. And so, which makes kind of sense because Xbox is doing their thing in early June, and so they come out and Sony does their thing. Maybe we see God of War Ragnarok. They get announced a couple more flat screen games, and then they finish it off by saying, "And here's a bunch of PSVR 2 stuff," to kind of force feed the flat screeners, saying, "Hey, we're not going to do a separate event because you might not pay attention to this, but if we throw it into our full Sony PlayStation presentation, then we're going to kind of like force it down your throat, and we're going to say, you better look at this VR thing because it's impressive." And I do think that's going to be next month sometime. I don't think they're going to wait till September.
So just to clarify, are we talking about showing hardware? Yeah.
I mean, like PSVR 2 hardware.
Yeah. So because to be honest, there's every chance they could show a couple more PSVR 2 games, like they've done with Horizon Call of the Mountain in June, July. But in terms of saying like pricing and like. Because I think they're going to do the price when they show the headset and I know they've shown it a bit. They haven't shown the headset yet, have they?
Yeah, they have.
They have. Like, I always get confused because they always.
Wait. Have they not? They haven't shown it like on somebody's face yet, right? Or like on an actual stage.
It was just the blog post.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Huh. Interesting.
So I wonder if they're going to do like. So I think maybe in the summer they could show some other games, but I think in terms of like the announcement of like when it's coming out and like showing the hardware, not necessarily someone playing it, but just I don't know, presenting it fully, saying, okay, this is the package we're offering. That I think will be in September. So we could both be right.
Yeah, I do think there's going to be multiple shows for sure. So and waiting until September to talk about like release date and pre-orders, I think that's probably the smart thing to do, just so people aren't too disappointed when they hear when it's coming.
Yeah. Roy just mentioned in the chat, did everyone remember to hit the like button? I'm so out of practice. It's been a couple of weeks. Absolutely. We're at 37 likes. There's 105 watching. So if you've got a YouTube account, hit like. Please, 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 please. It helps us out.
Miles Too Wise Dyer.
I love that.
It is my favorite thing probably ever.
No, it is. It's honestly, I've never heard it before here, so I want to get it on a shirt or a mug.
Nidogger, the Australian game Katsi. I definitely pronounced that wrong. Did I say Australian? Austrian game. Can you do? No, you know what? He gave us a euro with no comment, but we love you, man, so much. Thank you very much.
Were you going to ask me to do an Austrian accent?
Yeah, so, I don't know. Something.
Get down.
So you got an Arnold accent.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
He's Austrian, isn't he?
Yeah.
Are you sure he's Austrian? Yeah. Get to the chopper. Now.
Miles, I'm concerned we don't have a show today. Do we have a show? Do we have anything to actually talk about? We do.
I've just got here Arnie impressions. Yeah.
We do have a show. In fact, our first news story, 17 goddamn minutes into the show, is that the Swordsman Advanced. Here, I'm just going to put up the motion capture thing. There we go. That's a good thing to look at while we talk about this. This was just delayed. The Advanced Combat update for Swordsman has been delayed by 2 weeks, pushing it into. I don't know. Do you have a date on this? I'm so unprepared today.
All we've known is up to now is from that animation. Oh wait, so I've not actually. No, I have seen this video, but they haven't. They were always going to talk about showing an official gameplay trailer because it was on their last, like the animation preview, wasn't it? The small 15-second one.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to ask a quick question about this.
Sure.
The AI moving is now going to use over 1,000 custom mocap animations.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they're completely overhauling it and replacing all the existing, or are they being added on top? I assume it's going to be complete overhaul.
I mean, yeah,
I think it
would be fair to say it's a complete overhaul, right? Because if you've got all these animations from people actually making the motions, why would you keep that in over the stuff that is sort of a little more stilted? And I've said before,
and June 9th was the date, by the way.
Yeah, June 9th, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll look it up on Twitter. Definitely a little unprepared. Having a nice casual Friday over here. And luckily Cerebral Frost is here now, which is, now the show can start. They said we're moving the Swordsman App Lab and Advanced Combat update release to June 9th. Thanks for being patient with us. We hope you're as excited for this game-changing update as we are. We can't wait to see how everyone will do in battle with Advanced Combat. And so, the thing that I think most people are really paying attention to about this is the motion capture stuff. I mean, that's the thing I'm playing right now. That's the thing we just talked about. And I really, for the love of God, please tell me that the enemies will run at you, charge at you like Hellsplit Arena style, rather than just kind of like, we're on our way.
Running, just, yeah.
We'll be there in just a minute.
Yeah.
With our swords, get ready to fight us. No, I want you to charge at me because I want that to be terrifying. The predictive AI is the stuff that's not being talked about enough, for the fact that as part of this advanced combat update, they're actually going to kind of anticipate your movements, and I hope that means that they learn your patterns. So if you tend to do the same thing over and over to sort of cheese your way through the game, cheese your way through the levels, that hopefully this new AI, this predictive AI, is smart enough to go, well, he's probably just going to do that same thing he always does. So we're going to block here, and then, so you can't use that same pattern anymore. I've got a lot of hopes for Swordsman, man, and that's what I'm really hoping that this update includes. I should probably just message Alec and be like, does it include this so I can stop talking about it on Gamescast?
You mentioning about the whole predicting your movements.
Yeah.
This is going to sound like the most strange comparison or example to bring into the conversation, but something I liked on the game Racket Fury is that in the practice mode, I love that you're like, where is this going? In practice mode, no matter how you hit the ball and how good your shot is, the robot you play against will always return it. So the harder you play, it doesn't matter. And I kind of feel like that sort of AI dynamic would be great in a practice mode, or depending on how difficult you set the AI, where you could have a practice mode where it doesn't matter how hard you swing at the enemy, they will always counter. And that could be a great way, it'd end up being a great workout. Because obviously there's in real life, there are people that, play with swords, and fencing and that, where the idea isn't to hurt each other, but you are really going at each other to, get a workout. And the swings and blocks and all that sort of stuff is a part of it. It's a lot more complicated than Racket Fury, as much as I love Racket Fury, but there's no reason why they couldn't have a practice mode if the AI was able to do that.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but if I know that that the opponent's just going to block all of my shots, then I'm probably not going to try all that hard. That might be the worst workout ever. I'm going to be like, well, he's going to block this, so why would I hit very hard? Maybe if you said if I swing hard enough, I can break his sword, right? He blocks every single whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Or I can break his shield, right? And so then that's my workout. I need to swing hard enough to break through it. He blocks every single one, but if I swing hard enough, I can break it and really hurt the motherfucker.
Yeah. I guess I'm talking about on a scale of like completely rubbish to like perfection of like countering sort of, but I think some dynamic of that would be great. But I'm really excited, and this is definitely going to make me jump back into the game.
Yeah, me too. I've sort of been waiting. We've heard has been accurate and true, that this could actually be it could feel really fresh. It could feel like a whole new game. That's sort of how Alec's been pimping it. We got Nihilus Ryan, the game feeling, with the $5 tip, saying, "Happy Friday, cats. May your weekend be merry." I'm going to change that and say, "May your weekend be furry." I mean, not like don't be a furry. You can be a furry. We love you no matter if you're a furry or not.
You can be a furry.
But, cats have fur, and that's adorable. Just saying.
You can. You could. Oh, Brian, you're frozen.
Oh, you're frozen.
Oh, you're back.
Oh, good. Are we back? I don't know. I don't know if we went anywhere. Let's see here. Let's wait for YouTube.
It seems to be
tell
running
us.
good for me now.
Oh, good. All right. Well, as long as it's running good for you, we don't care about those people out there. let me see.
This is our show. We do this for ourselves.
Oh yeah, I haven't even hit the button yet to stream. Oh. No, according to YouTube, they're not receiving enough video to maintain a blah blah blah. So again, it only happens during Gamescast. My internet connection is pretty much flawless otherwise, but I think we're just about back up. So let's get back on the ball here and continue the show. This really may have nothing to do with VR at all, but I think we do need to talk about this as fans of flat games and hopefully hybrid games, or at least potential VR games. And that's that there were some very, very interesting Silent Hill leaks today. Now, I'm going to bring this up over here somewhere.
Did you manage to get the images?
Your shows tend to be way more professional than mine, Miles. How is this a thing? I am
doing very basic things compared to what you do. All the stuff you've got going on is full on.
Well, here's what we got going on. We got over here on some Video Game Chronicle. Yeah, we all go to videogameschronicle.com every day, don't we? Yep.
As soon as I wake up, it's the first publication I go to.
Super reputable website that we've all heard of and read daily.
Pulitzer Prize winning, yeah.
For sure. They've got an article today that leaked images appear to show a new British Silent Hill filled with tea and crumpets. That's a deal, I guess. How perfect is it that you're here with us today, Miles?
I know, to translate the word minger, but we'll get to that in a minute.
I think we better figure that shit out right now. What the hell's a minger?
So it's on. So there's 4 photos, right, that were shared, and one of them was of a woman's face with like bits of her face being ripped off with like words behind them, and I think it was on her cheek. One of the words is minger, M-I-N-G-E-R, and minger is a word that, to be honest, I've not heard for a while in the UK, but it's what people say if you're ugly, like they're a minger.
Oh,
so. It's definitely like a bullying kind of insult, and so yeah, it's clearly someone that in the image is being abused, and
amazing. All right, so
minger.
We've prefaced the information, so now when we get to it, everyone will know what we're talking about, which is wonderful. I would have been asking you what a minger was, I guess. The article goes on to say images from what is reportedly a new Silent Hill game were shared online by a reputable insider shortly before they were taken down in a copyright claim. Now, before we even talk about what was shared, I think if images from a leak get taken down with a copyright claim, I think it's safe to say these are probably real.
Yes.
Because we've had leaked images before that were not taken down with a copyright claim. So someone out there is pissed that this happened. I
just don't know why they take it down. Because they know it's going to be firstly saved, and then publications are going to post it on their site. It just seems like an odd thing to do.
I mean, all the images are right here in this article. Like, we have them all right here. They were taken down on the. Oh, I wonder if this video will get taken down for the copyright claim. All right, let's do this fast before they shut us down. Aesthetic gamer previously known as Dusk Golem, who I do follow on Twitter, and he seems to be, depending on who you talk to, fairly reputable. He seems to know his shit. Posted 4 images of what they claim were a Silent Hill leak, adding that they originated from a source that was new to them. They had been given more than enough proof to believe them. Within hours, the pictures were removed from Twitter and replaced with a message stating this image has been removed in response to a report from the copyright holder. These images show a messy room, a red corridor with notes covering the wall. They look like a bunch of post-it notes. And
that's my favorite one. That's amazing. That post-it note photo.
Here,
looks amazing.
Yeah, here we got this bottom one here. Right, it looks like somebody got pretty OCD about some shit. And we were actually talking in voice chat today about that image specifically, in saying that, like, I can already picture playing this game in VR, right? And you're walking down that hallway, and it's like the wind starts like stirring up.
Yeah.
All of them start fluttering, and they start flying off the wall. And then the next thing you know, you're in the middle of like this hurricane of Post-it notes. And who knows? Like, maybe one gets stuck to your face, and then you just see the message, and it says, "Fuck you," or "You're ugly," piss, whatever.
Minger.
Minger. Yes, Minger.
Yes.
I don't like the word.
Terminology is important, Brian.
Gotta be honest, man. Not a fan. Minger.
Same.
Yeah.
It's a horrible word.
There's a reason that you haven't heard it in a while, because it's just terrible. Let's see. With messages like "I hate myself" and "Minger" exposed underneath her skin, one of the images appears to be a concept art dated October 20th, 2020, and signed by Masahiro Ito, the monster designer and art director of the original Silent Hill trilogy. A while back, it sounded like he had made some claims on Twitter saying that he was going to be kind of getting back to Silent Hill. So this all seems to be checking out. As well as the use of word "minger" from in one image. Graffiti on the wall seemingly paraphrases, "He's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy," a line from Monty Python's The Life of Brian. Both terms suggest if this is indeed a new Silent Hill game, it may have a British influence. Which, I mean, Silent Hill is an actual place in the United States, right? I mean, not in real life, but like in the lore, it has a geographical location. It's in the United States, right? But people too seem to find themselves in Silent Hill unexpectedly. Like, they're like, crazy shit happens. Next thing they know, they're in Silent Hill. They're like, how the fuck did I get here? So it very well could be somebody. This could prove that, like, oh, you don't have to be in the United States to end up in Silent Hill, right?
Yeah, no, that bit definitely did throw me. But my first thought with this straight away was a new Silent Hill game is the world's worst kept secret. And we may not know exactly what it is, and this might bring us closer to it. Hideo Kojima doing a new Silent Hill game was obviously going to be the dream. But yeah, there's one being made. I can't see this not being Silent Hill from what the poster was saying. Yeah, and it looks cool. I mean, yeah, the Post-it note image in particular was the one that I was like, great. This atmosphere and visually looks amazing. But at the same time, I feel that it doesn't really tell us a lot about the game. I'd hope it would be VR. It would be a hybrid game. But I don't know how many years we've been going now expecting a Silent Hill game to be announced. It's been a good 2 or 3 years now.
Well, the fun thing is that it does seem like, when you kind of delve a little deeper into all of this, it does seem like this could be the Bloober Team Silent Hill, in that there's actually 2 Silent Hill games in development, or at least 2. And this is not the Sony funded
abandoned
one, as it's
sorry.
This is not abandoned, right? Oh
yeah.
God, I mean, I can't wait to do. I hope Abandoned comes to PlayStation VR too, just so we can do a whole episode
launch title
about the history of Abandoned, because that's one of my favorite stories of the last decade. If it's a launch,
it's going to come free with the headset. It's going to be built into the headset.
Yeah. That's how it's going to work.
Jim Ryan's going to announce it. It's going to be amazing.
If Abandoned is a PSVR 2 launch title, I will cut off my left testicle and send it to you.
You heard it here, folks. Clip it.
Yep.
Not the testicle.
Clip the testicle. Professor Lilith with the $5 tip says, "Splat! Explode giant bugs and destroy mechs with us this Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, as we defend ourselves in Farpoint." That's exactly how Professor Lilith would have read it, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, guys, another great reason to join Discord, because that's where we organize the multiplayer meetups every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, courtesy of our good friend Professor Lilith. Thank you so much for organizing these things.
Absolute legend.
Yep. Go play Farpoint with them, join Discord, and get in on the fun. Farpoint multiplayer is so much fun.
I need to get back into that. I've only played it once, and I keep hearing how great it is, so I need to give it another go.
Yeah, it's 1v1, but it's like there's just so much to it that you basically create armies on in real time. It's amazing. We also have, here it is, almost right there, Donatello the Scientist Game Cat with the $5 tip says, "Is it?" Oh, I'm sorry. I had to read the whole thing to figure out what he was saying. He says, "Is it?" The internet is divided. Happy Friday the 13th, cats. Dude, as somebody who loves horror as much as I do, I totally was going to let this whole Friday the 13th thing just slide right past us and totally forget it. Is it the internet's really divided as to whether it's CH or KI MA. So it's instead of it's It's not the second one. That's so dumb. I want to hear from the cats in the chat. Which one is it?
We just had a super chat from Looper, the Underground Game Cat, €1.99. Minga is actually the Bavarian name of Munich. I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Take your word for it.
I have to take his word for it because I don't know what it means. But thank you so much, Looper. We love you so much. Oh, my goodness. Thanks for all the support, guys. We love you very much. Listen, we don't need to go down any further really down this rabbit hole of the Silent Hill leaks. I do want to say though one thing, and that is that I'm gonna bring this up on the screen because I think this is really one of the most interesting things about when people are talking about Silent Hill, this unreleased Silent Hill game. Here we go.
Is this the Alana tweet?
This is the Alana Pierce tweet, and this is from 2019 or something. Yeah, November 2019. Now, I don't think I ever saw this, and so when I saw this today in relation to what's going on, I almost lost my shit because every time I've talked about what I want a VR Silent Hill game to do, I always come up with this hypothetical situation where where PlayStation is going to link with your Facebook account and it's going to take pictures of your family and just put them on the bureau And so when you walk by, you're like, hey, that's my grandmother. Wait a minute, what the fuck is my... And then when you look back over and it's somebody else. But like it just fucks with you by like using your personal information. I've been saying this for years, I think. And apparently, I wasn't the first person to say it. Alana Pierce said, in 2019, I heard that Silent Hills would require you to sign a waiver before playing it because it would somehow interact with your real world self, like sending you emails or text messages as characters from the game, even when you weren't actively playing it. And today's leak mentioned SMS messages. So this could all be like a thing. Wouldn't this be terrifying?
Yeah, I just don't know how that would work. I mean, obviously there are ways of making it work. I'd think it'd be more realistic for it to work through like the PlayStation app on your phone, kind of like messaging that way, keeping it in the ecosystem. Because I do think I just don't see how the waiver would work. Maybe it was something they were considering, but I just feel there are legalities to that because you don't have you do have a mobile number tied to your a PlayStation account, don't you?
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking in terms of, couldn't you register someone else's email or phone, and then they're going to get messed up?
Oh,
so it's going to be. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but the same thing every time you sign up for something online, right? Like maybe it sends you a confirmation text or whatever, just to be like, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right. Anyway, a very interesting idea, and it seems very Kojima to me, right? Kojima seems like so. This could be a very different. This could be a very different game. Obviously, Kojima was developing something with Guillermo del Toro that was much different than probably whatever Bloober team is doing. But it's just an interesting thing to bring up because like it's a very Kojima thing to try to push the boundaries of what a game is capable of doing. And I had never seen this tweet before today, so pretty fucking cool.
I love how the internet can just pull things up. It just takes one person to go, oh, I remember this tweet, and then that's it.
Yep, and then it's there.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, I got to go back and delete all my old tweets because who the fuck knows what I said back in the day. I have no idea.
Says everyone.
Hey, Miles, have you ever heard of this game, Green Hell? Green Hell?
So I hadn't, but ahead of today's show, I gave it a look. And I've had quite a few thoughts on it, but I'm happy for you to give an introduction first before I speak to it, because I have one very big thought about it. But okay. give the spiel.
Let's get the news out here first and foremost, and that's just yesterday, I believe, yesterday morning, I woke up to a press release in my inbox saying that Green Hell VR would be coming to PlayStation VR. Which I was like, which immediately Wes from Wes days, if you've been watching Gamescast, Wes sent me a message immediately and said, "Oh look, PSVR's not dead, right?" Like because that was the topic of Wednesday's show, and so seeing Green Hell coming to PlayStation VR was like, "Oh shit! Like here's something good to get excited about." And then as we both kept reading, we're like, "Oh shit! It's 2023, late 2023, like." This is the weirdest press release I think I've ever seen, because who the hell announces... Okay, first of all, it says nothing, does not even say the words PlayStation VR 2. It never says PSVR 2. It says PlayStation VR, PSVR repeatedly, and then it says late 2023. Like, and I even emailed the contact that was included on the press release saying, this sounds like something... is amiss, right? Like it sounds like one detail got screwed up and now it doesn't make any sense. Is this PSVR 2? Or did you mean to say by the end of 2022? Because if it's just a Quest port, like, what are you doing? It's not going to take a year and a half to bring a Quest 2 port of Green Hell over to PlayStation VR. So to me, the whole press release didn't make sense at all. And this game is getting like decent reviews and everything over on Quest. I saw some people in the chat earlier saying that they weren't thrilled with it, but a lot of people are enjoying it. And so this is something that I really want to play on PlayStation VR. And now I just have no idea like what the deal is. The press release basically brought up more questions than answers, I think.
I know this relates to one of the questions we had sent from the viewer takeover about, devs not being transparent about whether or not their games are coming to PSVR 2. And my take on this, and again, I'm willing to be corrected if I'm missing a really glaringly obvious point, but for me, it's these devs, all of them, unless they've got very, very special treatment with Sony, have got their hands tied and they have to be strategic with what they say. And so if they plan on releasing it on PSVR 2, they can't announce it. They can't say PSVR 2 because there'd be legal ramifications for it. They just can't. And so they think, what's the safest thing we can do is say PSVR, because then we're in the ecosystem. And then when PSVR 2 gets announced, we go, yeah, this is what we're doing it for. Because when you hear about all the shenanigans with like what devs, there's a dev that I know that was being asked from Sony directly, are you going to be making any games for PSVR 2? And they were like, if you can give us a dev kit. So they were being asked to, develop games for PSVR 2, and it's like without having a dev kit. So there is a massive, arm's distance from Sony for these developers. And it's not just about what is legally right. It's about wanting to be in Sony's good books. And so if they can say, we plan to do PSVR and it's going to be end of 2023, then that gives them all the room to bring it forward, because then they can have those conversations with Sony when it gets announced to go, hey, we were going to be releasing it here. Could we get a dev kit or, so that we can bring it forward? Because although a lot of dev kits have reportedly gone out, there'll be even more once it's officially released, because Sony wants to make sure that things don't leak. And with there being a lot of indie developers in the VR space, they have to be extra cautious with it. But so yeah, that's my feelings on that.
I like where your head's at, and if it's some sort of like political move, basically for them to get into Sony's good graces and get a PSVR 2 dev kit and get that conversation started, then great. But if
it's not even that they're actively going for that. It's then they just don't want to burn bridges. They're kind of playing defense. It's like, let's just not upset people, for the sake of it. Like, they don't know what the hell's going on. So it's like, how do we at least have the most options available? We'll say worst case scenario for them is going to come out on PSVR next year. So we'll say it's later, and by then we'll have a good sense of what state of play is with the new headset, and then we can adjust accordingly. Because what they might be saying is PSVR 2 gets announced, and then if they do want to optimize for the platform, they can't just release it straight away. They might actually have to wait until the end of 2023 until they've got all the haptics and that done as well. Like, they've got to do a lot of guesses if they haven't got any sense of what they're going to be dealing with for the platform.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you say worst case scenario, it'll come out on PlayStation VR 1 end of 2023. I mean, that's about the worst case scenario I think that any developer could find themselves in, developing this game over the next, again, bringing this, why would it take this long to get a port done, right? Why? And even honestly, man, it's like, why would it take so long even to get it to PSVR 2, right? There's a PC version of this, there's a Quest version of this. Like, if I was them, I'd be like, I'd be saying shit like, first of all, I wouldn't be saying shit, period, right? You don't announce a port a year and a half ahead of time, right? And so like, this would be great news like next year, say, hey, like, we're going to let you know. But if it's PSVR 2, and it's funny to see that like everybody's reporting as this is like just PSVR 2 news. Every single person, every single outlet that I've seen has been just saying Green Hell coming to PSVR 2 next year. I'm like, that's not at all what the press release said. Like, that's not the news, period. And so that's why I've been trying to get clarification on this, and it's been absolutely crazy. But I was like, this is just you just don't announce this at this time. Like, the only way you announce this at this time is if you say, hey, we're planning on having Green Hell VR ready for the PlayStation VR 2 launch, right? And that's, again, a lot of people are saying things like that, and I guess it really does depend on what your relationship with Sony is. Are you a team that like just got a dev kit, or do you have some kind of like plan in the works? So like is Sony like helping to fund the port, helping to fund your game, something like that? There's so many different possibilities, but it is. I do think that you're onto something, because a lot of people are just are being pretty quiet about their PSVR 2 plans, including people who have dev kits, right? People who clearly have dev kits. You see, you have to figure a studio like End Dreams has their dev kits, right? Because they're constantly talking about our next gen AAA studio End Dream Studio Escalation, right? And so you don't for them. they're talking about PSVR 2 games. That's what they're talking about. But they're not. But they're not revealing anything. So it's such a weird time right now to be talking about what your next gen plans are, because I do think you're right. I think a lot of studios' hands are kind of tied. But if this is their way around it, it's the weirdest way around it I've seen. By maybe a little bit announcing it, but not really.
No, I agree with you on that. So is this a game that you've played on Quest?
No. I mean, it's not called Walkabout Mini Golf, so I haven't played it on Quest.
Yeah, that is fair as well.
And I've learned my lesson, because I've bought a ton of games on Quest. I play them for 5 minutes and go, I'm going to go play Walkabout now. Like it's not out of a lack of caring or trying. It's just that like my Quest is my Walkabout machine.
I'm just looking at the mechanics of this. They've taken bits from so many games, like the backpack looks like Walking Dead. I mean, that's great. Mm-hmm. Honestly, when I watched some videos about this, I'm going to be honest, it looks cool. But my first thought, and this is the big thought I teased at the beginning of this section of GamesCast, which was, it made me think, I really, really want The Forest in VR or Stranded Deep. I mean, Stranded Deep, for someone who has thalassophobia, Stranded Deep is freaky on a flat screen. It's like Subnautica. To play those games in VR, my goodness, would be absolutely terrifying. Because The Forest, there's not a lot that you do in the water. There is a shark, spoiler, in the water, but there's not really much swimming at all. But yeah, The Forest VR. I mean, The Forest 2 was actually meant to come out this year, I think. So
Sons of the Forest,
I don't know,
is that the one?
Yeah, Sons of the Forest. I need to look up about that. But they haven't announced a console edition yet, but I would love that to be a hybrid game. Oh, man. And also, I did see someone who was playing Green Hill. I keep trying to stop saying Green Hill Zone from Sonic, like I've seen everyone in the chat saying. It'd be great if that was the theme tune. Would go really well with the game. But yeah, they said on the video that multiplayer is planned, so I don't know if that is out yet for the Quest version. But this is the kind of game, yeah, if there was multiplayer, I'd be down for it. When Stranded Deep brought in multiplayer, which, by the way, Stranded Deep devs even had it on their FAQ on their website for years. Is there multiplayer? And the answer is no, this is always intended to be a single player game. And they just got fed up of being asked again and again. And so they were like, all right, we're adding multiplayer. And it brought me back. I played the game again with my friend Johnny. Yeah, it was really good. And I just thought I'd love this in VR. Stranded Deep has some really good mechanics, especially the raft building mechanics, a lot better than The Forest. But The Forest, the horror elements. The Forest is one of my favourite PS4 titles. And I've seen the VR mods. Oh, man. I just wish they'd do it. I wish they'd do it.
Yeah, I bought the Forest on like one of those super deep discount sales that PlayStation Network had, and it was like $3 or $4 or something. It was like stupid cheap.
Absolute steal.
Yep. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna check it out flat screen. Dude, I couldn't even start it flat screen. I was like, what if it comes to VR? I want my first experience like this.
Right.
And I did that so many times over the last this past console generation that like. I mean, there's just way too many games now that I kind of skipped because I was hoping they'd come to VR. But The Forest, everybody says that. Everybody's right in line with you, saying that this is the survival game that you want to play in VR. So if it comes to VR, fucking great.
Oh man, I just like the moments I've had in The Forest that are terrifying on a flat screen. To experience it in VR. I'd say to anyone watching, if you've not played The Forest and you see it on discount, grab it. It is such a great love letter to horror movies. It brings together a lot of things that I've loved growing up, like Lost, The Descent, and also Go In Blind. What is really great about The Forest and what I think makes it a really great open world game is you can literally just try and survive on the island. You've crashed on an island. Can you get food? Can you get water? And can you survive? Or you can try and follow what the story is, which is you've lost your son who was on the plane with you, and you can explore the island. And there's some things you do in a certain order, but generally you're exploring the whole island however you want. and that sort of dynamic of, it kind of reminds me of like what made Grand Theft Auto games really popular in the early days was there were missions and stories, but a lot of people just loved going off and doing their own thing, and having doing either of those things isn't at a detriment to the other. Where some games is like, no, you're not allowed to access any more content until you've followed the story more. And yeah, going into caves with friends is just so spooky because you hear screams. One of you's holding a torch while the other's holding a machete, and just to have that experience in VR would just be incredible. I could go on way longer, but yeah.
I mean, screw green hell. Let's talk about the forest. What's now, since you brought it up, now I'm curious because you I like the kind of free form idea that you're mentioning, saying you can just try to survive or you can follow the story or whatever. And I really like that because that was the same thing I did in Saints and Sinners, which obviously is a much different type of survival game. And because I just loved going on those scavenging runs and like just spending time making sure that I had everything I needed before I continued the story. And so I really like just being able to play the game however you wanted to. Is it a spoiler for me to ask? And if it even is if it's even a tiny spoiler, please don't tell me. Is there any part of the forest that involves like trying to get off this island?
It's I would say that there's possibilities of like, trying. Of course, like you can literally, one of the items you can first build in the game is because what you do is you set down an item you want to build. So if it's a shack, and it'll say you need this amount of wood, and so it's like a framework, and then you bring the wood over, and as you place it in, it fills it up until it builds it. And one of the things you can do is on the beach is you can create an SOS out of stones, out of rocks. So yeah, you have this real sense of like, can you get off the island? Now, whether that's even a possibility, I'm not even going to go into. But the way the game plays out, because to be honest, it's technically not an island; it's a peninsula. But it's like there's a massive mountain to the north, so you can't go inland per se. But there's just so much you can do, and I've done like 100-day games in this with friends. And then the fun part with a lot of these, I kind of think of it with Minecraft as well. The best part is always starting from the beginning. Like you've got nothing and you got to cut down trees and, you start making your home. But yeah, it's, I would say the story is very surprising.
Okay.
And yeah.
I don't think we should talk about it anymore. But I will say that the chat has been amazing during this. Karina says The Descent, it's a classic. I totally agree.
Yes.
All Yours History says it's not a good survival game if it doesn't have a volleyball. Yep, it's a good Tom Hanks reference. We also got
Stranded Deep has it's called it's Wilma or something. They you find a volleyball with the blood handprint on it. It's
Wilson?
Called something else.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can stick him on your raft.
Dan Kiefer, probably my favorite comment about this is, or you can just play forever until you become one of the kids from Lord of the Flies.
That's it. Okay. Well, I think Green Hell on the trailer says it keeps sane, and on the forest, you can lose your sanity with certain actions, and if you lose it so much, it unlocks a load of stuff you can now build because it's so messed up you wouldn't want to do it. So that's really, really cool. Yeah. And Sons of the Forest, the mechanics on that look absolutely phenomenal. But like looking at this trailer for this game, there are things on it that do look really cool. But all this survival stuff, it lends itself to VR. Like one thing that's good about the forest is when you cut down trees. Because I remember as a kid when I was younger playing Minecraft when it first came out, and it's, you knock a block of tree out and the rest of the tree stays up. And I was like, this is really smart, because how would we have computers good enough that you cut down a tree and it knows how it falls and everything? That's what happens in the forest. You knock down a tree, it hits the floor and then it breaks into like 4 logs. Whereas on Stranded Deep, you knock the tree down and then you've got to cut the logs, the trunk into logs. And so it's getting more and more refined to like realism of lumberjack VR.
I'm definitely excited for next gen VR, man, because like being able to do all of this in VR and have it all like, be more and more realistic as we go with all the survival mechanics. That all sounds amazing. However, Miles, as fun as it was to hear about how much I've been missing out on in the forest, it's time to play PSVR 20 questions. Are you ready, my friend?
I'm never ready, but let's do this.
Never ready. Awesome. I'm going to put 6 minutes up on the clock. As you guys know out there, Miles has 20 yes or no questions to figure out what PlayStation VR game I'm thinking of up in my head here. And you guys really, really, really need to help him.
I need help.
Yeah. This is going to be a tough one. You ready for a tough one?
How long's on the clock again?
6 minutes.
Cool, because Brian and I were talking beforehand about whether or not we could make this episode spot on 1 hour. So let's see if we can get this done in 5 minutes.
It's not, but
It's not,
we'll come way closer than you and I have ever come.
Ever done? Oh yeah,
Go.
Definitely.
Are
Right.
you ready? On your mark.
Okay.
Get set. Go.
Does it have multiplayer?
Yes. Just remember that I stumbled on that question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is do you have guns in it?
No guns. You've only got 40 seconds left. I'm just kidding.
Is it within a game? Does it have more than 5 players?
I believe so, yes. Yes.
Is there full locomotion?
Yeah.
Does it only use the move controllers?
No. That's 5 questions.
I shouldn't have messed that one up.
It's such a tough.
No. I should have just said, does it? I should have said, does it just use move controls? But does it use the DualShock?
Yes, it does.
I know this is the next one. Does it use move controllers?
No, and I'm not going to count that question.
Okay, cool.
Because we kind of danced around that.
Yeah, sure. So it has multiplayer, cautiously said. No guns, 5+ players, full locomotion, DualShock. So are you in a vehicle?
Yes.
You're in a vehicle. Are you airborne?
You're not airborne.
So grounded. Is it are the graphics realistic? Like, is it set in the real world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely what they're going for here.
Yeah. Is it? I was going to do a double negative. Is it futuristic? Is it sci-fi?
No, that's not sci-fi.
Not sci-fi.
That's 10.
There's someone saying in a tank, but there's no shooting. Yeah, is it? Is it a game that has they've cut the service off for? They no longer support.
It is a game they cut the servers off for, which means that multiplayer we talked about is no longer.
Right. I see now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that if you're in it, you're a part of a club?
I would say you're part of a very specific type of club if you're in it.
Brian, with 1 minute to go until the hour, is it Drive Club?
It is Drive Club VR.
I got nervous then.
Infamously, I think terrible reviews from a lot of from a lot of sites saying it was blurry, fucking made people sick, and it was one of the things that blew me away on day one. I fucking loved this. I actually fell over on my couch the first time I took a turn because I just didn't. It just floored me, man. It was crazy, too realistic. Good job, man. Good job. And I want to give a shout out to, I think Emily Baxter was the first person I saw who said
Nice.
Drive Club. I don't know if anybody said it beforehand. I apologize if you did.
Well done in the chat. And for those, some people said, why didn't I guess it already? When you're in this seat, you always want to just take an extra breath because you only get one guess. You only get one guess.
Yeah, if you guess the wrong game, then you lose. That's the rule.
I did play Drive Club, like the flat screen version, and I used to love driving games growing up, and I was really impressed with it. And I wish I'd actually given the VR version a go because, shame about the multiplayer, though.
Yeah, the multiplayer was so much fun. We played the crap out of that. I think on the entire last day before they shut the servers down, we just played it for hours. It was a lot of fun, big time, a lot of fun. Miles, this
hopefully
was also...
GT7. Hopefully GT7 is the next VR title.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Multiplayer. Oh, dude.
Hopefully everything. Hopefully we're not like stuck with 3 driving games next time around.
Yeah.
Right. We had so few arcade racers, so few driving sims, so few everything. It was sort of like, oh well, we have Dirt Rally and Drive Club and sort of Gran Turismo Sport, and that was kind of it for the entire generation, which is a big letdown. I don't think that's ever going to happen in a VR life cycle again.
And people mention Dirt Rally because I haven't played it, and I know I should be giving it a go.
Yeah.
Multiplayer, right? But is any of the multiplayer component where one of you's in the passenger seat giving directions, or have they not done that mechanic yet?
Oh, I have no idea. Why? I'm totally floored right now by trying to figure out if there's because the co-driver is you have to like decipher that language.
Yeah, because I remember when I used to play Gran Turismo like years ago, you could have that mode in it, and it'd be like as a VR thing, one of you's there with the map, or directing the other person. That would be amazing.
It's like a rhythm game or something where it's like the person playing on the flat screen, being the co-driver, is like tapping the buttons to say the right things at the right time.
Oh, really?
I could be totally wrong on that. Maybe I just made that up. Like maybe I had a dream about it, and now I think it's real because that's happened before.
Cool.
Yeah, but yes.
Someone says only local co-op, so that must be what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be it. Miles, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you are enjoying your Friday and are going to enjoy your Friday night. It's what's left of it over there in the UK. I know there's only minutes left of your evening before it turns into tomorrow morning. So thank you for spending a good chunk of that with us.
Always a pleasure, Brian, and it's always great hanging out with all the game cats. So much positive energy. And something actually we didn't mention, but we'll do now is earlier this week, we actually jumped onto Beat Saber to do co-op. Oh, I say co-op. I feel like it's a co-op thing.
We played the new. Fuck the competition.
Yeah, it's a hangout session. Yeah. We played the new electronic mix and went through all of them, and it was a really, really good time. And we were just saying that we should definitely on Discord work out with some of the game cats because having a full room and it's not about getting the best score. It's just about, working through the songs together. It's just so much better, I find, than playing the solo games. So we should definitely do more of that for sure.
I 100% agree. But let's get out of here, man. Let's
do it.
And actually, if anybody, I could probably play some Beat Saber tonight if anybody's down. Just like, let's talk on Discord after this. I know it's late over there, so I'm not holding you to anything.
I'm so tempted though, man. It was so much fun. I'll be down.
Nice.
All right, guys. In Discord chat afterwards, guys.
Let's do it. Guys, don't forget to join, to subscribe to Miles Dyer over on his 2Ys Miles Dyer YouTube channel and follow him over on Miles Dyer Official on Instagram. Also, don't forget to join our Discord. Thank you to everybody who supports us on patreon.com/withoutparolegames. Don't forget there is exclusive content coming for the $5 tier or higher. We get an AMA coming soon and an episode of Why We Love for the first time in what feels like fucking forever. It hasn't been that long. It's been like a year. It's been a while. So please consider helping out the channel and supporting us over there. Don't forget to join the Discord. Thank you to everybody who supported us during the show today by either helping Miles during 20 questions, leaving awesome comments, or obviously donating during the show. And of course, thank you to everybody out there who watched the show, sat back, didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much.
And hit that like button. We're almost at 100. Do it.
Click the like button. Let's get out of here.
Have a good weekend. Pineapple on pizza.
We got to change this thumbnail, man. It says Green Hell 2023. I think we need to change it to, God, I hope the forest comes to PSVR 2. That would be a...
We need to do that as a future... Oh, dude. Forest VR. We need to just do that as a thumbnail for a future one. It will get so much traction. Dude, nice. Pineapple on pizza, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But more importantly, don't forget about the tornado who looks like a who looks like a pancake, or my pancake that looks like a You know what? Let's just get out of here.
Good night.
Good night.